Ooh, just another day in the garage. Ooh, baby girl, what was that? Oh, what was that? Oh, look, a mark. Oh man, let me put some more marks on this car. Big sister walks by. No. Oh, let me scrub in some more marks. Ooh, other sister walks by. Ooh. Oh, going to town. No, no, no. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you saw that intro clip that I had, my freaking daughter was hanging out in the garage while I was doing something out there, and she grabbed a racket, a metal freaking racket, and started messing with my door. I got so freaking pissed, and I was so concerned about it. I started buffing it before I didn't even film it or show what happened, but I actually got done buffing it already, and I realized, oh man, I should have recorded it or at least taken a picture of the damage. So I'm going to show you what I did and what I got out of it from her freaking hitting it with, or scratching it up with a metal racket. So I was using my 3M Perfected compound. It's an older bottle of compound I've had for a while. It's the 6085 compound. This is the number 1 of 3 to take it out. And I was using my Meguiar's, one of my Meguiar's buffing pads up here. This is my compound cutting pad. So yeah, this girl, you can't see it now, but yeah, it was pretty bad. I thought it was, you know, I could still see some of it here. Yeah, I got it all out, but you can still see it like in person. You can still see the scratches in there. I went probably 3 or 4 times on that compound just to get it all out. But yeah, you just got to work that compound in there. And luckily I was gonna correct my paint because I've got some ceramic coat coming, so I was going to do it anyway. So this kind of forces me to actually do it for the rest of the panels, but I pretty much got it all out. Right now all I see is in here is like micro scratches in there. I'll get a light and kind of show a better view of it, maybe with reflecting off a light. But yeah, you can see it right now when I put a light next to it. So there's a scratch there, there's a scratch there, and it was really bad. This girl, yeah, she kind of hit this first spot. I was like, oh look, hey, nice line, let me rub the racket on the rest of the panel, and that's what she ended up doing. So like right there, you can see it there, you can see it here, down here there's some more scratches right there, you can see it. But yeah, I worked that compound in pretty good. So that was only step 1 of 3, so I still got to hit it 2 more times. Next polish on it, and then the fine polish once that's done. And that should take most of this out, and then I'm going to ceramic coat it. So hopefully that ceramic coat kind of evens out some of those deep scratches. I still have to get some wax and grease remover into there, just wipe it down, see if I get some of the compound residue out. I'm going to go ahead and just record, and then on this video, just doing my whole paint correction on this car. It's as shiny as it is, I've never corrected the paint or really done much to it, so I've got a lot of these scratches like right here. Well, I've been working over here, I guess, so I got those scratches. I got some scratches here. There's little minor imperfections of what you expect from a 12-year-old car, I guess. I'm not doing it all in one day, so this will be recorded over several days, maybe weeks, depending on how much time I have. I'm pretty anal about it. I'm not a detailer by any means, but you know, I like to do this stuff and I like to do it right. I've got a couple good YouTube channels I'll put in the link at the bottom that I've been watching just to get some tips on detailing and paint correction and all that, if you're into that kind of stuff. So you'll see me starting off with these 8-inch pads. These Meguiar's pads I've had forever. It was a 3-part system. It was the compound, it was the polishing, and then the waxing pad. And I'm using my Harbor Freight rotary. This thing, if you're not familiar with using one of these, it's very dangerous. You can easily burn your paint, so I would not recommend that if you're not familiar with using one of these and, you know, get impatient using it. It does work a lot faster than like a DA or a random orbital, but you run into risk of burning your paint and just burning paint on edges of random things, not just the panel itself, you know, near the edges. So on other parts of this video, you'll see me I actually have some Lake Country pads. I read that they were pretty good as far as quality goes, so I've got those on order. I've got a 5-inch, 5.5-inch set, and then I've got a 3-inch set. The 3-inch set I'm gonna use for stuff like my mirrors, front of the car, near, you know, on the bumpers, all that, those areas where it's a little tighter, and I don't want to use the 8-inch or the 5-inch pads. I'm gonna use the 3-inch pads. See all that compound right there all over the hood in the car. This compound, I was following some of the directions to wet the pad down, but it still throws pretty nasty because that's kind of the nature of these rotaries, the rotary force ones. It's gonna sling a lot of your compound, and you know, getting it wet kind of keeps it from slinging so much. That's the difference between using like a DA sander. If you use a DA or random orbital, it moves a lot slower, and it keeps a lot of the product closer onto the pad and you know, working on your paint. But it does take longer, and it takes more patience to use a DA versus a rotary. So that's really the big difference there. So you'll see me using different pads on this rotary tool throughout this video. Man, this stuff dusts like crazy. I had to wipe down the car, so I'm gonna call it for a night. I basically did these two doors right here, the quarter panel and the trunk lid, the top of the trunk lid. I was afraid to do too much more with those 8-inch pads I had, because these little spots right here, I don't want to burn the edges, so I want to wait till I get my 3-inch and my 5-inch pads in so I can do some more of this finer detail stuff. I just did a light buff with the compound, but you know, you can see right there, see some of the scratches, it wouldn't come out. What I was spraying in between every time was just regular grease and wax remover, just Duplicolor. I purchased that at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's like $8 or $9 at O'Reilly's or any auto parts store. So that stuff's pretty good. You just wipe it on, let it sit for a second, and then wipe it off, and it takes off all the wax, the compound in between buffings. I'm gonna do the rest of the panels on another day whenever I have some more time, and when I get the smaller pads in, I could do pillars up here. I didn't want to do too much of that because it's, you know, this 8-inch pad is just way too wide for what we need for this for. So a package of buffing pads and all that came in. We'll open ahead and see what we got. I think I spent like 60 bucks on this. Whoa, $75. I didn't think I spent that much. So ended up getting the 3-inch spinning wheel thing, a couple of 3-inch pads for the smaller areas that are harder to reach. Got the 5-inch wheel, 5.5-inch, 5.5-inch pads there. The thing with this wheel is I had one from Harbor Freight and I didn't realize I had one. Ended up ordering another one. Got the black, I got those 3 pads. So the orange pad is a cutting pad. The black pad is like the gloss, the final finish, and the white pad is the polish in the middle. So it's like that. I would have ordered another white pad over here, but they ran out, so I just ended up ordering a black and a orange pad. But those will really help me with the buffing and the cutting right now. that was a long and tedious process to compound all the surfaces on this car. So I've already got pretty much everything compounded. The front I didn't really compound as much. That paint's only like 2 years old to keep it pretty clean, so I just compounded the top of it just to get some light scratches off of it. And I probably could have foregone most of the compounding, but I just wanted to do all the different steps, so I basically wiped everything down. The thing with compounding is it leaves a bunch of swirls and just spots where the compound was working in. So now I got to go over it with the next step, which is the machine polish. So the machine polish will get most of that out, and then with this 3M system, there's a number 3, which is the ultra fine. So I'll do that, and hopefully that goes a lot faster than just the regular compounding, just because it's not as tedious, and you're going to do the same kind of machine polishing, but you don't have to go as much on some of the spots. It's just kind of glazing over it with the pad and the buffer. So that was another hard couple hours of buffing. So I'm on number 2 of 3 now. Got everything, all the contaminants out of the paint. Everything's nice and smooth. Got compound everywhere. So I gotta get on to that third step now, which is kind of dreading, but gotta do it. That's what happens when you do the 3-step process. I'll probably do that off camera. You guys probably saw enough of me time-lapsing through this buffing process. It's the same process, just with the number 3. And then once I do that, I gotta clean up all the compound and everything out of all the little spots and all that crap. And then I'm gonna end up doing some ceramic coat later once I get some more time. Oh yeah, look at those headlights. Hey, don't forget guys, I'm still trying to give away these headlights. I've got that headlight review video and install video, and I've got the metrics on there and the instructions on how to win these headlights. So go check out that video. I'll have a link in the description and up in the corner here, and follow directions on that, and you might have a chance to win these VLANs, these custom VLANs I made a couple months ago. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. So luckily I got that damage that Abby did to that door out on that side by compounding and buffing it, and then basically doing the paint correction for the rest of the car on this video. And if you saw my other clay barring video, this is basically a follow-up to clay barring, where the clay barring is the first step. You basically remove all the dirt and residue and any contaminants on the paint. And then after that, you do the paint correction, where you're correcting all the imperfections and the scratches and all that other stuff that's built up over the years, especially on black paint. So I went with that 3-step process, and you saw 2 of the steps. I'm going to do the 3rd one off camera because you probably don't want to watch that anyways. It's just the final step in doing the ultra fine micro polishing. And after that, I'm going to go with ceramic coat. I'm going with the Armorshield IX from AvalonKing, and that's going to basically seal this paint, make it hydroponic, where the water just flows right off of it, the dirt just wipes right off of it. And all these years of waxing, now that they've got this ceramic coat and everybody's using it, that's probably the way to go, especially after I've put in all this work for the paint correction. So tune in next time on one of my future episodes. I'm going to go over that whole ceramic coating process, and we'll do that. And whatever I did on this, I'm no professional detailer, so I'm just kind of doing it. I'm just reading the instructions on there, and I'm just doing it the way I know how to do it, and the way I've just kind of practiced on this paint. So if you want to know about real auto detailing, go to check out some of the auto detailing YouTubers and read some forums on that. But I just did it just because I wanted to do it. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.